And now, your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Mr. Dye, long time no see, man. You're walking down like Obafemi.
That's it. You nailed it. I was doing the Obafemi, big Obafemi guy. Yes, I'm marching in, making my appearance.
Hey, man, he had a pretty good promo. The crowd kind of got with him. Like halfway through it, they started doing the Brody chant, the row.
Yes.
Instead of whatting him, they were giving him some barks, man. They were giving him a little love. I had never really seen him before.
So much a fan of everything that is going on in wrestling right now. It's very excited to hop on here with you. I'm fresh back from the road, Austin, Texas, New Orleans, Australia, New York, then to LA, then back to New York. It's just been too much. Just got back from Reno. I'm happy to be back. Back in LA, baby.
Reno is where my parents met.
Really?
Yeah, my mom was the chef at the hotel, casino, resort place that he performed at, and he saw her in the crowd and sent his assistant to say, hey, do you want to come backstage and meet Freddie Prinze? And she was like, yeah, sure. And she went backstage and they met and they liked each other and fell in love, and the rest was history, man.
Was it the Laugh Factory?
I don't remember which one.
Because if it was,
that Laugh Factory was open then.
I was going to say, I think it's been open forever. I mean, this is in the old
Then maybe
casino,
it was, dude.
And I was like, if it is, that's interesting, because I was on the exact stage as your father, and I was
You've already been on the same stages as my dad.
in the same casino as your mom, so that's pretty cool.
You've already rocked the same stage as my dad rocked here in LA.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. But we're not here to talk about the history of stand-up comedy, even though that would be fun too. That's our next podcast called Comedy with Freddie. No, it's not. But we do have a ton of wrestling to talk about. Look, we're going to talk John Cena, everybody, so don't worry. But you have to wait, because the appetizer is a little AE dubs. Winter is coming. And this show came from the Gateway Center Arena in College Park, Atlanta, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen. Reminds me of an old Outkast song. So this was a really good show. I don't want to sound like I'm not surprised. I was just kind of like, yo, they're kind of rocking it this week with the backstage segments, the in-ring promos. The matches were just stupid, crazy, awesome. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean stupid the way we meant it in the 80s, y'all. You guys don't know about that shit. But they had some Continental Classic matches that were phenomenal. A surprise match surprise win from Speedball Mike Bailey and Kyle Fletcher. I'm a big Kyle Fletcher guy. Jeff hates his sunglasses.
You don't like the look, but I love him.
See, I love the look. We disagree on tons of shit, which is actually good. AEW also had the finals for the Women's World Tag Team Championship.
History.
And it was Babes versus Love Bombs. It was the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron looking hot. Mm-hmm. And they defeated Timeless, Toni Storm, and Mina Shirakawa. They were looking hot too, Jeff. It was 4 hot wrestlers in the ring, kicking the shit out of each other, which I love. It was awesome. It was a fun match. And the Babes of Wrath won. Harley Cameron, I think, has done some really good comedy wrestling. And
She's awesome.
I think there's a place for the puppets, music. It reminds me of Santino Marella. Not at that level, but Santino would bring a lot of comedy into wrestling, because it's like Vince would always describe it as an old vaudeville show. You got to give him a little bit of everything. And Harley does that really well. She's been this really cool underdog story that everyone in AEW, fanhood, has gotten behind this girl. And Willow, everybody loves because she's big, she's beautiful.
She's getting hotter too. If I could be a guy for a second, Willow's getting more attractive. She's getting hotter, and Harley is very, very beautiful. And she broke her nose or got some nose surgery. Something happened, and now she came back looking more beautiful. This tag team is more hot now than they were 5 months ago, and more popular.
That's why they're the Babes of Wrath and not the Women of Wrath, because they're babes straight up. And they won, and they got and she bled. Harley bled for the craft. She was bleeding out her mouth in this match, man, because Japanese chicks wrestle strong style.
Strong style, yeah.
Just punch you in the face.
I'll never get over strong style. Just the idea. I'm going to really punch you because that's my style. That's my style. My style is that I don't pull my kicks or punches. My style is that I'm actually going to hurt you and you're going to bleed a lot. I'll never get over.
What about insult comics? Some people can't get over the Don Rickles, the hilarious. Insult comics.
Oh, it's my style to just insult you till you cry. That's my thing. You've got to be a good sport about it because it's my thing. It's like my style.
You've got to be a good sport about it.
Yeah, it's my thing.
I love it. So this was a lot of fun for a lot of reasons. One, it was division defining. As far as creating the new titles, they're going to have tons of women that can come after them. They're the heroes of this story. It was an underdog story, David versus Goliath story, so to speak, even though Willow was the biggest chick out there. But as far as where they were placed sort of with wins and losses in those types of rankings, big win for those ladies, totally legitimizes them. No shame on Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. They're both dope. Super cool. Really fun.
Actually, I'll give you a hot take.
Do it. What you got?
You're not going to like this, audience. I don't care. I'm shrugging. I don't care if you're going to like it. I don't like the Toni Storm shtick. I don't like it.
I know.
Never have. Never will. Don't. It feels too drama, too theatrical, too over the top, too silly. But she's great. Toni Storm is great, and it works, and people like it, which is all that matters. Doesn't matter that I don't like it and I'm being a little hater. The people do love it, and I don't think it's going anywhere. But the accent goes in and out, like she says, your ass is gross. It's like those are both A's. It would be ass is grass or ass is grass. The accent isn't consistent? What is going on here? I was very annoyed, but it is good and everyone likes it. I'm just not a fan.
It's all right, man.
Yeah,
you can hate a little bit. You're gonna catch some hate, and that's okay too. You guys can get mad at Jeff. You're allowed to.
I feel like. If anyone actually only reach out if you also hate it. How about that? I know that 99% of the people don't agree with me. So if you're in that 1%, hit me up.
The 6 dudes out there, hit Jeff up. JeffDieComedy.com.
Yeah,
get your tickets now.
Let me know if you agree.
I have said this before. It's been inconsistent. It's been hit and miss with me. When it misses bad. When it hits big. But it's a home run or a strikeout. It's like modern baseball. You see very few singles, fewer triples, and every once in a while a double. But anyway, the match was cool, and women's wrestling is cool when everybody's kicking the shit out of each other and getting over and looking good, and they did it, and I thought it was fun.
You know a storyline they should do?
Oh, what? What now? What do you got?
Do you remember when I asked, I don't know who we had on that I asked the question, like they were doing she was saying like salacious things. But then I was saying, but like, wouldn't you argue that some people would say that's objectifying the women? But then she's saying, but if we're doing it, then it doesn't count as objectifying. They should
probably
take that
Chelsea.
They should take that whole storyline and put it into wrestling. So there's a group of wrestlers who are like, we're classy. We would never objectify ourselves like that. But then you have a group of girls who are like, no, this is progressive, and we don't that should be Chelsea, the feud. Yeah. That should be the storyline. Because, you got Toni Storm who acts like she's this 50s gal who's in black and white, and she has this classical movies accent. She's being very suggestive. So that kind of mixes all of that stuff up when you really could have the camps. That could be a whole storyline of like a real woman doesn't act like that. And they're like, who are you to say what a real woman is? And it's the feminist versus the elegant conservative gals. Like that could be a whole storyline they could work with instead of just jumbling it all up.
Too often I find that the men get adult storylines, whether they're good or bad, you can debate all day, but they're adult. And the women get like teenage girl storylines where it's like, you're fat, you're ugly. Yeah. And it's just like, bro, these women are in their 20s and 30s. Like they're dealing with real shit. They can deal with adult problems. Like let them deal with adult problems. So I'm with you 100% on that.
I agree. Free idea. Another free idea for all you leeches that listen to our podcast and steal the stories. Go ahead, take our free ideas and then crap on us when we say something you don't like.
All right, here we go. They like everything I say, Jeff. People only get mad at you.
Yeah, no one's ever gotten mad at you.
No, never. Not once. No, goodness. That wouldn't happen. Let's move to the Continental Classic. Tournament wrestling is not my favorite thing. However, there's history at AEW now, so we've gotten to see some matches that have story behind them, even though they're tournament matches. Like last week, we got Claudio Castagnoli versus John Moxley, and they're in the same friggin' faction, but they had to fight in this. And so you got to see like a real history there in the way their philosophy is on, hey, we may be friends, but I'm about to kick your ass. Well, do it, because no mercy is asked for and no mercy shall be given. And so we've seen a lot of stuff like that. This was a different match. This was Okada versus Jack Perry, who took Darby's place because Darby got hurt. And because wrestling may be scripted and choreographed, but that shit hurts.
Oh, yeah.
So they threw a story into this. Everybody, I think, felt Okada would win this match. But by the way, these two had really good chemistry, and I don't think they had ever wrestled before. So please wrestle again. But anyway, after the match, there was a story. And Don Callis, who's got the best sunglasses in professional wrestling, he came out to the ring and he tried to recruit Jack Perry. He's like, yo, let's come to the dark side, Jack Perry. And Jack Perry's
come
like,
to this
never.
Strange, inexclusive family.
I'll take just about anyone if they need help.
Look at the ragtag group of people behind me that don't match at all. You could be part of this.
You could be part of this. Well, Jack Perry feels the way you feel, and he said, you can go suck it, pal. How about that? And Don Callis didn't really like that, and so he had everybody beat the shit out of him.
What a great line, too. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, Freddie, but what a great line. He said, for the second time tonight, I'm about to bite off more than I can chew. And then he starts and fights like, 8 or 9 guys. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, dude, he's cool, man.
Yeah, it's good.
And they start beating his ass, but yeah, better than the line I just said. And the Young Bucks came out with Luchasaurus. How could you forget that they were going to come out, Don Callis? Come on, man. Are you a manager or what? And they stopped the family's beatdown, and that led to a money match, $1 million match. We're not only wrestling for pride. I'm putting $1 million of my own money on the line against what? The $1 million that you stole. I'm not even making you put your own money on the line. That's how pissed off I am at you and how confident I am in my 3 fucking guys that you fucking guys are dead. And they're going to wrestle in, what is it, Manchester? Is that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Manchester. That's where they're going to wrestle. They have crazy accents in Manchester. Anyway, that's the next match. But here's the match I wanted to talk about. Speedball Mike Bailey gets the upset of the year on maybe not of the year, but a big ass upset on Kyle Fletcher with a very clever last minute pin sequence, as our producer liked to say. But this match in general was easily the match of the week. It was so much fun to watch. Both these guys were badass. Mike Bailey, we've talked about him a little bit on the show because he's got some good moves and he looks cool out. Even with the mullet, he looks cool out there. I don't know if he can talk yet. They haven't given him too much of an opportunity, and if he has, it hasn't like hit me or resonated where I was able to remember it and bring it back to you guys now. But his wrestling is really cool, and he wrestles fucking barefoot, and he's throwing karate kicks out there like Daniel LaRusso. And he's looking great. And he had this awesome match with Fletcher, and he freaking won. And everybody was kind of like, Kyle Fletcher's going to win the whole tournament. It's his to lose. Yeah, he's going to beat everybody. No, he's fucking lost. That doesn't mean he's going to lose the tournament. But he lost this match, and I like that they did that. It gave me a little surprise. I like it when I'm wrong. And it makes me want to watch more wrestling. And I love the match, dude. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I like both these guys a lot, even though I know you hate his clothes.
I hate the look, but I love him. And I love when, you kind of just said it, but I love when anything happens we weren't expecting. That's how you impress a mark, is you give them something that they weren't expecting. So even if they don't like it, they go, well, I didn't see it coming.
Did you just call me a mark?
I'm a mark.
She almost made me mad, dude. All right, next up, we got Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. What? They hate each other. Why would they be bros? Just hold on a second. Don't freak out. And they had to go against the Ops and Powerhouse Hobbs, who's super jacked, and Katsuyori Shibata, who just has one of the coolest names in wrestling. And his look is awesome. I wish he spoke English, man. The phone gimmick that he used to do is fun. But I wish he spoke English because I just think his look out of all the Japanese dudes is the meanest. Like, he looks like he could legit beat your ass and just wants to. And he just doesn't look like a nice guy. So I like it when he's a heel. He's got that stoic face. So anyway, they decided to hit a double power bomb on Hobbs through a table. That was fun. And then Shibata got just beat to hell with everyone's finisher. He took the super duper clothesline, the buckshot lariat. Sorry, I called it clothesline. It's a lariat, people. To Shibata, and then he was just woozied out and like all KO'd. And that gave Swerve enough time to go, whose house? And the whole crowd goes, Swerves. Well, you know what they said. And then he jumps, Waja Kaya, and he hits him with the kill shot. I think it's called the kill shot. Knocked him out, and they got the 3, 1, 2, 3. And the can they coexist was answered. They can. They can. Now, look, Hangman said, look, I'm going after the title, Samoa Joe, or Eddie, but we all knew it was going to be Samoa Joe. So he's coming for it, but Swerve's going to be right behind him, and he's going to want to come after him. And if Bobby Lashley's injured, like I heard he might be, although that's just online, so don't quote me on that, then that gives time for someone else to get in there. But eventually you got to get this belt on Bobby. He's just too big and badass. I already know the answer to this, but tell the people. Out of Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland, friend of the show, Swerve Strickland. So be careful with your answer here.
Yeah.
Which one do you root for more, sir?
I do love Swerve probably the most. I think he's the most naturally talented. I like that he's got I'm blanking on his... What's his manager's name? I'm blanking on his manager's name.
Oh, Prince Nana, bro.
Prince Nana. I love Prince Nana. So, like, the overall thing he's got going, I like. I felt like when we had him on the podcast, I was like, what are you talking about? Rap music and entrepreneuring and gaming.
How
I got
dare
knock
he?
it off. Just be a wrestler. I didn't like that part. I don't want his life to be better. I want him to be a full-time, all-the-time wrestler. That's all I care about. Selfish. So for that, but I am rooting for Swerve. He's the man. He's awesome. Also, I thought it was fascinating. Do you think whose house, Swerve's house, counts as stealing? You know, because that's like a thing. You know,
what thing
house,
is that?
Ron's house, and then also
man, it's all inspired from something,
sports,
dude. New Jack is New Jack
whose
City.
house, our house. You know, for the LA Rams.
Nah, dude. Nah,
no?
man. Art inspires art. If that's true, then everyone's stolen from everyone, and no one has original scripts. No one has original acting choices. No one has original jokes. No one wrote an original song. Like, all art inspires art. Some of it's more similar than others, and you can see
on the nose.
Some of it is straight up stealing, but I don't think that's stealing. I think that's all wrestlers see what's going on socially in the world, and they bring that into their gimmick and make it their own. No. Like, you know, they all do it. Yeah, like I wouldn't say Razor Ramon stole Tony Montana. I'd say no, he saw that and was like, "That's really cool. I'm going to do my version of that and make it my own." So I don't.
This could be a nice conversation for a later episode of like
true.
What exactly counts as taking someone's move in wrestling? Forget a catchphrase, forget a voice or a gimmick, but an actual, like, how many guys get to do a super kick? How many guys did get to have a spear? Why was it so forbidden to do a Stone Cold Stunner for like a 10, 15-year period? But now stunners are fine. You know, like
we need to get an old school guest on here.
Yeah, ask
like
him
an old
question.
school wrestler and be like, what's the protocol? Like, how does that go down? We need to get someone on here, like a Shawn Michaels or an Arn Anderson, and just pick their brain on that. Those two guys might have total different perspectives on it. I don't know, but
I'd love to know, because
we got to do that.
They make a storyline where Kane is Undertaker's brother, long lost brother, and so then Kane just gets every one of Undertaker's moves. What a great thing for Kane.
That's a blessing,
cool.
right?
I do a tombstone, I do a chokeslam, I get to do this guy's stuff. So I would be interested to know how it works, but just wondering.
And now for a commercial break. No. All right, we're back. And we're moving on to Saturday night's main event and the fallout and the end of the 20-plus year career of the franchise, Mr. Francese John Cena. That's how Santino Morella used to say his name. Mr. John Cena.
Should we start with Cena, or should we talk about Saturday night before we get to it?
Let's talk about Saturday night. Where do you want to start, baby? Take it over.
Let's do the top of the show. Let's just talk about the top of the show.
All right, dude. Here we go. We had the undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, versus the NXT champion and Jeff's favorite new wrestler, Obafemi
Dude,
with the
he's
strut,
so good.
with the king strut coming out. The bringer of war. I loved when he said that, by the way. That was so cool, which was very from that Nick Cage movie, Lord of War. It was very reminiscent of that. I thought it was so cool. So see, everything comes from somewhere, Jim.
Absolutely.
But anyway, the crowd was chanting Oba. They loved him. They got into it. I would like to say this match ended exactly the way our producer Alex and myself predicted it, with Drew McIntyre saying, "Fuck your match," the way Rick
Breaking it
James
up,
said,
ruining
"Fuck
it."
your couch," and he wrecked the whole show for everybody. Ha 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 ha! I'm Drew. Excuse me. Ha 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 ha! I'm Drew McIntyre. I ruined Saturday night's main event. No, you didn't, but you came damn close. But anyway, I loved the match, even though it got ended like that. I kind of knew it was going to happen. And it was cool seeing this dude. I had never seen him, man. I know you like him, so go ahead, take over.
I am so excited with what is happening in WWE. You go, oh, it's so sad that Brock is going to not wrestle after next year. It's sad that AJ Styles is retiring. It's sad that John Cena is retiring. It's sad that Chris Jericho is running out. That means Edge is probably going to retire. Rey Mysterio is probably going to retire. Yeah, this is great because we've never had as much great talent coming up in wrestling. Maybe we have, but not that we've known. We know we've got Braun Breaker. We know we have the tribal thief. The Ozilla. We know we have Obafemi. We know we have Sol Ruka. We know that we have a young Jade Cargill. We know that we have Lashley, not Bobby Lashley, but the girl
Lash Legend.
Lash Legend. She's a star. These are all stars. And we're not even talking about the whole NXT roster. Those are just people that are brought up in WWE right now. Not to mention how many are in NXT. There's so many good young people that I keep finding myself going, oh, that's the future. No, that's the future. No, that's the future. Obafemi already looks like an A-list. He doesn't seem young and green. He seems like a giant freak that has been in wrestling, and we're like, where's this guy come from? Like, he doesn't seem young and whatever, so it feels like this monster they found somewhere else that they brought over, which is just so great. And I'm already fantasy booking all the like Braun Breaker versus Obafemi, or Obafemi versus what's the guy from Greensville, North Carolina, that jumps out of the gym, big skinny handsome black kid.
Yeah, what's his name? Javon.
He's awesome. And that's another young guy that I didn't mention. He's great. They're all great.
The kid they just brought up from NXT that went up against The Miz.
He's got springs in his feet.
Dude, that kid amazing. Can leap. Yeah, he can leap.
So there's just so much great young stuff going on that I've never been more excited. And I keep trying to say, all right, Jeff, think about who you like the most. And I think when it comes to total package, it's Obafemi. He's got the mic work. He's got a great gimmick. He's already the fans are just inventing a chant to say in between his lines. It wasn't forced like Yeet.
He wasn't forced. I'll fight you on that.
I felt like he was trying to make them do the Yeet thing, but his mic work was so weak that he couldn't even figure it out rhythmically with them.
You're crazy.
So that's just what I think. That's just what I think about it. Don't send Rikishi on me. And so that's just how I felt about it. But Obafemi, he's just doing lines and they're like, woo, the whole crowd's into it. The music, the costume is very old school wrestling. It feels very Vince McMahon. So I'm a huge fan of this Obafemi guy. And I thought that was a great way to do it, too. He didn't lose, but he didn't win. It was just a really good match. And then Drew ruining it really made it seem like, this giant guy didn't lose fair to Cody. So I loved it.
Clip this, all y'all, because you guys called Jeff a hater. And all he did was give love to the next generation of wrestling. I want you to remember that. Remember that. Dude, I agree with you with a lot of what you said, and they really are giving the future of that company a big opportunity. I think Ricky Saints is about to come up, who's got great mic work, and he's fun to watch in the ring. Yeah, he's an NXT dude who just lost to Oba. He just lost the title to Oba, so he's for sure getting pulled up. So they got a lot of that. I was really surprised on the Sol Ruka match, so we should talk about that real quick, because I got this wrong. I thought she'd look good, but Bailey would get the veteran win with some craftiness. Negatory. She lost, and she looked awesome. She beat Bailey, which I'm guessing they're pulling this girl up sooner than later. But dude, she did 8 different crazy moves. And like 4 of them, I was like, yo, I don't think I've ever seen that shit before.
She's super athletic and super.
I don't watch NXT, so I guess she's a something, man.
She was a gymnast from in Hawaii, and now she's like a killer wrestler because she's so strong, but also can do all the flippies.
Yeah, dude. Our producer Alex even gave us the names of some of these: the backflip head scissors, the apron kick, a cartwheel dive over the top rope. Bailey answered, well, I'm not going to get into everything he said, but he gave you like a whole rundown of the match if you guys ever need that. We'll post the notes. No, we won't. But anyway, I let you guys down. I said Bailey. So did Alex. Jeff would have said Sol Ruca. You guys
I love Sol Ruca. Yeah, I've just got a big crush on her anyways. I'd have picked her for sure. But I also will say it's inappropriate to talk about women's ages, like just socially. Like it's bad etiquette to be like, oh, it's your birthday. How old are you? Or like, oh, she's getting up there in age. Or anybody who even like dared to tweet on X about the Bella twins' age. Somehow all the wrestling fans were like, yay, don't call her that. But we call like all the other wrestlers old when they're boys. We forget that the female wrestlers, because we don't want to talk about their age, they could be at a point in their career where they need to put over younger talent. And you got to see Bailey do it here. Bailey's not like a young rising NXT star anymore. Like Bailey's a veteran. Like she's been there. And so to watch her, to watch her put over Sol Ruca on the same night that John Cena puts over Gunther, it was awesome. It was so cool of Bailey, such a good match, and so impressive of a performance by Sol Ruca.
Yeah, I totally agree, dude. All right, now let's get to the main event, damn it.
Yeah.
John Cena versus Gunther. We told you how this was going to happen. We told you what was going to happen. Gunther made a promise in a promo. If he breaks that promise, he's going to look like shit. We've talked about that philosophy on this show a lot. So I was very surprised by the general surprise of the people, right? Because I feel like most people are pretty keyed into the wrestling world and how it works. John Cena is the most old school of old school, even when he was young, even when I worked there. And he was still, I think he was probably in his 30s, because he's 2 years younger than me or 3 years younger than me, something like that. And I worked there, I think, in my 30s. Yeah, for sure, 30s. And so he was in his 30s. So, he wasn't in his 20s and young and dumb anymore, but he was the most old school philosophy that you could possibly have. In every interview he's ever done, he's been the most old school dude that you've ever seen. So if anyone thought he was going to win, I'm sorry, but that's just wild. Like, you haven't been paying attention to what John Cena's saying. And for those who didn't like the way he lost, I understand everybody, not all art hits everybody, but I loved it. I saw a guy literally go, he's almost smiled and was like, wow, this is my last moment and I have to tap. And he put the guy over. And it was the single most generous thing that a wrestler who's retiring can give to another wrestler. Not just losing, but losing the way the other wrestler promised you he was going to lose. And John Cena acquiesced, and that's a $5 word right there, baby. And that was $5.50. And he gave up, and he tapped, and even his dad was heartbroken, which means it was excellent. Sometimes a Greek tragedy is an awesome script to read. Not always. Sometimes it breaks your heart. It's too much. You want to feel good Eddie Murphy comedy from the 80s. I get it. But sometimes Shakespeare wrote some good shit, and you should check it out, man. It's been performed well over the years. And that, to me, is what this was. It was that Greek tragedy, and he had to give up, but he gave up almost with a smile on his face as he went out, like, peacefully. He's like, the son of a bitch got me. All right, what good on you? Tap, tap. And the match was over. I loved it. I loved everything that happened before that. I thought they put on just a great match in general. Gunther's such a stud, man. He's such a good wrestler. And Cena's always been good. Even though those crowds used to scream, you can't wrestle, clap, 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 clap. Those same people now are like, how could he be God? Oh my God, yeah. John Cena, why? Why would you do that? But yeah, man, I thought it was a ton of fun. And I will hand the microphone over to you, Jeff.
I loved what you just said. I agree. Here's the thing. Few things we got to clean up for the people that don't understand how these things work, or maybe for people that are disappointed that John Cena lost on his last night. Do you not know how wrestling works? Also, of course, like you said, of course he's going to lose, and that's what you do. You put over the other person to show that, like, hey, I am now going off into the sunset, and I'm leaving it with someone else. He's Superman isn't real, the dad is a man, like after a while, you've got to kind of see the storyline end for John Cena at the end of the arc. Secondly, tapping out or submitting is not giving up. John Cena didn't give up. That's not what giving up is. A submission move is like, I can't go on anymore in the match. Like, he's got the best of me. He wins. He's victorious. They go, oh, the guy that never gives up on his life. He didn't give up. That's not giving up. That's like he lost the match to a young stud, the Gunther. Like, it's all part of the theatrics. The other thing that I find is wild is everyone booing Triple H, everyone saying you effed up or chanting all these dumb things. It's like, listen, you wanted Vince out and everybody was going, isn't it great what Triple H is doing in NXT? Isn't it great what Triple H is doing in NXT? If we could just get Vince out, And then they get Vince out and they get Triple H. And what? It was about 30 seconds before you turned on Triple H for doing exactly what pro wrestling has always been doing by putting people over and making guys lose because they're moving on. Like, that's how it works. So I don't want to hear it from all these fans. It was an awesome night. Everyone got to show their respects to one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And if I could say one more thing, what do I always say about wrestling? Wrestlers never retire. Ever. John Cena will be back in 3 weeks. Doing some sort of promo or starting some beef or managing someone or entering the Royal Rumble or being the GM or being a guest or promoting a movie. We acted like John Cena was dying. People were teary-eyed and all this different stuff. I thought it was at his funeral. But John Cena will be around the rest of your lives. You don't have to cry and hurl insults at Gunther and Triple H. John Cena is not going anywhere. John Cena might not be taking bumps and doing matches with young wrestlers because, he wants to be a movie star, and he is. So you'll see him. It's not like The Rock is missing. You see Stone Cold every damn day on your cell phone. Like these wrestlers aren't dying. They never retire. So don't fret if you're going to be sad that John Cena's gone, because he's not really gone.
So remember when I said everyone who says they're mean, just play that last clip. Everyone who thinks Jeff's nice, just play that last clip.
Yeah. You can make many arguments for it.
I'm with you, bro. As soon as you said, what do I always say? And I was even thinking this in his last match, is like, when is he going to come back? What Royal Rumble is it going to be? Yeah. Is it going to be up for his 50th birthday? He's like, one more match. Let's sneak in the Royal Rumble one time.
He is wrestling. He's not.
Yeah, your bodies can only do it for so long, man. So eventually these guys have to stop taking bumps unless your name's Ric Flair, who apparently would be in heaven and hell one day, wrestling God and the devil.
Yeah. Hogan came back.
It's a triple threat match, you bastards.
Yeah,
we're going to end this conflict.
Hogan was wearing red and yellow and doing feuds with the Rock, and you're like, this is happening? And then
For real, yeah.
Undertaker had a match 3 months after he left his boots in the ring to some AJ Styles movie match, that he had that was pre-recorded. They're always.
Did you like the movie match or no? Did you like that cinematic?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was awesome.
I thought it was a big swing. Yeah, that was a tough swing during COVID. I thought they did a good job with that, man.
Yeah, they can make each spot great when it's all edited like that. So it felt really good.
That's why Jackie Chan fight scenes look so dope.
I love it.
All right, you guys, listen. The fans, you could say it's a vocal minority because they're very vocal. Social media gets a lot of traction. I think most people felt the way we felt. And I think people just get caught up in the moment and start, screaming and yelling and hearing everyone else screaming and yelling. So, they get, I don't remember what that psychological condition is when you get caught up in the moment, but I think it was more that. We're not going to have a Thursday show, but we will be here throughout the holidays. So continue to listen. And although we won't be covering the live stuff, we will be covering wrestling and talking wrestling the whole time. We pre-recorded a couple episodes for you guys. So even when you're on your vacation, you might get tired of us, but you won't have to miss us. So on behalf of our producer, Alex, who's the fucking man, and my co-partner, my partner in crime, Mr. Jeff Dye, who's also the man. I'm kind of the man sometimes. Some days I don't feel like the man. Nah, some days are tough, man. But I'm doing my best, and I hope you guys are doing your best too. We'll see you next week. Peace. Oh wait, next week before we say peace all the way, it's questions and answers week. You guys ask the questions, we give the answers. Now I'm saying peace. Peace.
We're out.